Hey folks, the Comics Kid 2099 here to talk to you about an episode of a superhero animated series, as I do every Saturday. Today, I'll be talking about the Season 2 episode of Batman Beyond titled Rats. If you don't like spoilers, then leave now, cause I will be spoiling. And if you do like spoilers, then you're in luck for that very reason. And before I get into the review itself, I'll quickly sum up the events of the episode. Dana is being her typical evil, selfish girlfriend self and whining that Terry doesn't spend enough time with her. She gets some flowers that she thinks are from Terry, but they're from an underground-dwelling, deformed rat boy named Patrick. When Terry stands up Dana for yet another date to fight Mad Stan, a political activist, Patrick sends his rodents of unusual size to kidnap Dana. He gives a sob story about how people make fun of him, while Terry tries to find Dana. We find out Rat Boy isn't as sympathetic as he'd have us believe, as it is strongly implied he has kidnapped many girls and has had his ROUSs devour them when they rebelled against his kidnapping. Batman saves Dana and Patrick is accidentally blown up. Terry and Dana reconcile. Cue credits. So I've made no secret that I hate Dana. She is absolutely the single worst thing about this show, hands down. She has no real defining characteristics other than being the nagging girlfriend, which is evidenced by the main conflict of this episode. I guess we're supposed to feel some sort of aw yeah moment when Dana tells off Terry, but I can't help but hate her even more than I already did. Terry is the man of the house. His dad is dead, and he is allegedly supporting his family with his part-time job. His mom has taken classes in the past, and it's safe to assume that she maybe still does that from time to time even now, and has to work a lot to support her two kids. Now, we know that Terry's job is actually fighting crime as Batman at all hours of the night, but as far as Dana is concerned, he's doing a very noble thing, and if he doesn't have a lot of time to hang out and be a normal teenager, well, can you really blame him? Dana comes off as extremely selfish when she essentially admits that, yeah, Terry has responsibilities, but he should still make time for her. Which, yeah, maybe he does need to make time for her. Dana can't be expected to still date Terry if he isn't around to date her. But there are mature ways of calling off a relationship because it isn't going anywhere, and then there is the way that Dana handles the situation, where you act like a whiny, selfish, entitled brat. Now, keeping in mind that I hate Dana, I am not totally against her in this episode. Yes, her behavior is deplorable, as always, but after discovering that a mouse was living in my closet and reacting as you might expect a 5-year-old to react, I have to applaud Dana for keeping her composure during the entirety of her kidnapping and having the brains to send Ratboy to the surface world so that she could try to make good her escape. These things make Dana feel more like a real character and less like a prop that the series needs because every superhero has a girlfriend. Unfortunately, I can't think of another episode where Dana ever really feels this fleshed out, but that doesn't mean that this episode is a failure, just that future episodes are, in the same way that future episodes ignored Max's backstory that was set up in the episode Hooked Up. I do like that this episode doesn't really focus that much on Terry. The stakes are high for Terry, but we're mostly seeing the episode through Dana's eyes. Like I said, the episode doesn't really make Dana very sympathetic, but I guess it does do a better job than most other episodes. I also like that while there is some fighting, such as the fight with Mad Stan about halfway into the episode, and then the rescue scene is sorta actiony, overall, this episode isn't very action-packed. It really does feel like the people making the episode want to put as much focus on Terry and Dana's relationship being in danger as they can, but they feel obligated to put some superhero stuff in there since it is a superhero show. I do have some questions about our bad guy, Ratboy, that the episode doesn't really answer. Was he born like this? And if so, how? Yeah, this world has characters like the Penguin in Batman the Animated Series who looks sorta like a penguin, but it's not like he actually has a beak and feathers. Ratboy here very clearly and plainly looks like a rat. No ifs, ands, or buts. Now, we see some radioactive sludge in the sewers, and I assume that that was why he had some pet rats who are as big as ponies. But Patrick mentions being made fun of in the surface world, which means he looked like this before he came to the sewers where the radioactive sludge is. It really doesn't matter where this kid came from or how he got this way, since this episode is more about Terry and Dana's relationship. But still, I'm curious. It's not a big deal though. Speaking of Patrick, this episode is maybe the darkest one we've had yet, and that includes the pilot where Terry's father is murdered off screen, and the body horror that is Aaron being turned into a mashed potato goop in the Disappearing Ink episode. Heck, Spellbinder is a psychiatrist who abuses the sanctity of the relationship between a doctor and patient, and even that guy is harmless compared to Ratboy. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm still revolted by seeing the mouse in my closet, but when Patrick implies that his pet womp rats ate the other girls he kidnapped, that is some seriously twisted stuff. Like, you'd expect to see that in the X-Files, but not in a cartoon airing on the WB. Maybe I'm just marginalizing this as a cartoon, and therefore it must be safe for kids, but it is still pretty twisted in my humble. This episode makes a bold move by making making Dana the focus of the episode, even though I still hate her at the end of the episode, I ended up liking the episode quite a bit despite her presence. So that's what I thought of this episode. What did you guys think? And what did you think of this review? If you liked it, you'll be happy to know that I'll be doing a similar review next weekend on an episode of Batman the Animated Series. And the weekend after that, I'll be talking about another episode of Batman Beyond. And I also do various videos throughout the week, so be sure to check those out as well. And if you did like this review, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Catch you later.